with the proceedings of the second day of the APAC Global Education and Skills Conclave. I would now like to introduce our next speaker. We have Mr. Venkata Ramanan, who is the Education Business Manager of Viewsonic. Viewsonic, as all of you would be aware, is one of the leading names in display technologies in the country. And Venkata Ramanan has a checkered past in the display area. He has previously worked with other display giants like Acer and BenQ, and now he is currently responsible for all the LCD display businesses in Viewsonic in the education vertical. So, without further ado, I'll now hand it over to Mr. Venkata Ramanan for his session.
Hi, good evening, and thanks for the intro. Welcome you all for the session. Here in this session, we will be talking about what is hybrid learning and how teachers can set up a hybrid learning classroom. So as we know, the COVID-19 has created havoc in India's education. Close to 15 lakhs of schools and over 50,000 higher education institutions, which is the most diverse and the largest education ecosystem in the globe, has been shut down for the last 18 months. And the number of affected students is close to 32 crores, India being one of the youngest countries across the globe, have stopped going schools because of COVID. But this acted as a catalyst. So what education system in India expected will happen 5 years, 10 years down the line has accelerated, and everything has happened in the last 18 months. So, but there have been quite a few challenges for the educators, because this is something which we were experiencing for the first time ever in the history of independent India. So the problems were delivering a quality education and virtually was one of the major challenges for all the teachers. Second was keeping up the classroom enthusiasm, and the participation and then feedback from the students was a greater challenge. And the last one was the teachers had to spend a lot of time in preparing lessons, and they have to customize themselves with all the lesson plans, and then get used to the technology advancements which we have seen in the last few months. So whether after this COVID is all over, whether again we are going back to the 100% physical classroom scenario, probably the answer is no. Some form of online education will remain as such. So that is what we see it as the future of education. So we see that internet will play a big role in the next decade, but teachers will be playing a much bigger role than what it was pre-COVID. Otherwise, the students will be drowning in a sea of opportunities. They would not know where to go for, what to reach, because they have a vast amount of information available online. But it is the teachers who would be directing them to the right path of career. So what is hybrid learning? Hybrid learning is nothing but where a teacher is engaging with the student, both inside the physical classroom, where there are, say, 50% of the classroom strength, and the other 50% of the strength is on their respective devices. It might be a mobile phone or a tablet or a desktop or a laptop. They are listening to the teacher remotely via online. So that is what we call as hybrid learning. It combines both the physical classroom as well as the virtual learning platform. So, but this has to bridge the gap between a physical classroom and the digital learning. That is the ultimate aim of having a hybrid solution. So the teacher should be able to deliver the lesson consistently, like he or she used to do inside a classroom, and then also maintain the active participation and collaboration, and then take feedback from the students, both inside the classroom as well as who are listening to the teacher remotely. And the most important is the accessibility and inclusive edtech for better student outcomes. Inclusive edtech in the sense there are students who would not have access to advanced devices. They might be having a basic phone or a laptop or a desktop. So it has to be inclusive for everybody. The students have to be able to join from any of the devices they have to be a part of the inclusive group. So that's what we have a Our platform, which is My Viewport, which is more of an ecosystem which helps seamlessly both the teachers and the student to come onto a common platform and then engage and communicate with each other more effectively. So let me switch back. So yeah, I can go to myviewboard.com, and then the teachers can sign up. You can either use your existing Google account or Microsoft or Apple, or just give your email and password. You'll be able to get to a dashboard here where you can download all our this modules as well as the software. So irrespective of the device you use, you might be using a Windows platform or the Android platform, you'll be able to download that here. So if you're using a laptop, you can download this software, what you see on the screen now, and you'll be able to continue with the classes. So it's a 15 seconds registration process. Once you register, you'll be able to download and install on your PC. So it's more than just the whiteboard. So you can switch between the physical and the virtual classroom. You can use the software both inside the physical classroom as well as on your laptops, which acts as a bridge between the teacher and the learner. So here is basic suggested soft hardware, which the teacher we suggest a computer, which might be a desktop or laptop, and then the latest version which you download from myviewboard.com. A stable network around 2 to 3 Mbps even would work fine with the software. So the bandwidth is not a constraint. Even a 3 Mbps bandwidth would work perfectly fine for you to connect with the students. And then this microphone and camera are usually a part of the computer or laptop you use. So that carries your voice as well as the video stream. And optionally, you can also have a touch display. So if you want to have a dual monitor setup, the teachers can opt for a touch display. So this is the scenario one on how to set up a hybrid classroom. So this can be used both in 100% virtual learning scenario, as well as you have students inside the classroom and you have 50% of the students listening to you remotely. So we can use this all the three setups which we are going to discuss in both the ways. The scenario one is where you only use a laptop. You know that there is an inbuilt camera which carries your feed, and then there is an inbuilt microphone, and you have the software here, and then you can conduct the classes. So this is scenario one, which is the most simplest of all setups. Second one is scenario two. So some of the teachers might not be used to using mouse to write on the laptop, so they can go for either a woodpad or a pen display, which is nothing but a secondary display, which can be connected to a laptop via USB, like you see here. And then whatever they write, for example, a maths teacher. So writing an x square plus y square would be pretty difficult to write directly on the laptop. So you can write it on the woodpad and it will reflect on the screen. So the students who are listening to you remotely will be able to see whatever you're writing here. So it becomes very native, and then they'll be able to understand without any loss of communication. And the third form of setup is a bit sophisticated, where the teacher would love to have two dual monitor setup. So here you can have, this might be a touch interface where you can access the lesson, write something on it, because this being a touch interface, you can just write with the stylus or just with your finger. And here you can see the feed of the students. Suppose you are connected to any third party video conferencing solutions. So you'll be able to see all the students and interact with them, whereas on the other screen, you can switch between different lessons and different pages. So in this way, you can interact with the students through one screen, and then you can teach via the other screen with the lessons on. So these are the three different scenarios based on whatever hardware you use. Once you download My Viewboard and then install on your respective devices, you would be able to use in any of the three scenarios. So what are the benefits of this? This is integration, the first one, because this software works in interactive flat panels. There is a smart boards which you use inside the schools. Plus, it can also be used in laptops, mobile phones, tablets, etc. And you can move from one platform to the other, Windows to Android web interface. And then we have options to both synchronous and asynchronous learning. Synchronous learning is when teacher and the student are learning at the same time inside a classroom or in an online learning scenario. When the teacher is connected to the students in real time, it is synchronous. Suppose we have seen quite a few schools who have recorded videos and then upload on the YouTube, or even sometimes they send on WhatsApp, and students consume it or learn at this different point of time. That is called asynchronous learning. And so this advantage of this setup is you can teach not just 40 students like we have, where geographical limitations were there. We can teacher can engage with 500,000 students at the same time. So that is the advantage of having a hybrid learning solution. So the one which you see currently is a Viewsonic Viewport, where you have an option to record the classroom. So there will be an online repository of all the lessons in form of video MP4 files. So you can record, and then the students who are not present for the class can access it at a later point. And also we have a easy option of integrating with YouTube live or a Facebook live. So if you have a YouTube channel or a Facebook group, you can directly go live from this platform. You don't need to have any other software. Just with a couple of clicks, copy paste a couple of codes, and then you will be able to go live on YouTube or Facebook. So this is synchronous and this is asynchronous. So we have both ways of learning here. And then apart from the normal pens, we also have something called as an artificial intelligence pen. So this software has been built with futuristically, where the teacher might be able, the teacher might need some kind of figure for the classroom. So just a circle, it can be anything. It can be a circle, it can be a moon, it can be a volleyball, anything. So suppose you want this figure, you can just simply drag and drop. Or say you want a picture of a moon for a classroom, just long press it. This will automatically take you to the Google reverse search. So from a simple sketch of a circle, we can choose what objects we want. And again, if you need this object to the classroom, you can simply drag and drop. So all these pictures I want, I can drag and drop onto the software and then close it. And then you can zoom it or remove the background. For example, if you want to remove the background, we can do that, and then make the object spin. We have an option for that. So these are the different functions which a AI pen can do. So not only that, not only images, we can also drag and drop videos in the same way. So going back and then say, this was an image, now go to videos. So you want this video to talk about the evolution of moon, the classroom. So you can drag and drop onto the player. So suppose we want 4 different snapshots. Say this is the snapshot number 1, and then we need another snapshot here, and then another one here, and then another one here. So once the video is played, you can just have all the 4 stages, and now we can continue with the lessons. So now we can say that this was, say, X years back, and this was Y years back, and this is the current version of moon, and then how it's going to evolve. So from the video, we can also take multiple different snapshots. And we can have infinite number of pages. Like for example, we have 21 pages, and it can keep on going. And each page is also infinite. For example, the maths teacher would need infinite for solving a problem. He or she might need a very long form of annotation software. So each page is also infinite. And another important feature is handwriting recognition. So suppose I'm a teacher, I'm just writing, I'm not too sure whether this is visible for the student. So I can convert this into handwritten strokes. So it becomes much easier for the teachers. And we also have multiple other geometrical tools. You can just drag and drop and start using it. So you can drag a protractor and then start drawing it and then move and then draw again, or just increase the size of it and then draw again. So all these different mathematical tools are also inbuilt. And not only maths, other tools for physics, chemistry, science, geography, history. So all these are embedded within that. You can just import the files and then keep talking to the students. And we also have 2D, 3D figures, tables, etc. And suppose you want to do something for reference from online, we have an embedded Chrome browser where you can just search for it, and then if you want this particular text, you can just simply drag and drop this text. You don't need to have a file. So once you drag and drop, again, we have an option text to speech and speech to text. So this is a complete software which has been built for both the students as well as the teachers. So it's a complete suite. Like we have multiple modules attached to it. You can record it. You can go live. You can display. You can manage all the devices, and you can see the students. You can receive voice from them. So you can go to myviewbo.com and then download it and then start using it. So if you need any free training, please mail us at sales@viewsonic.com. We'll be more than happy to assist you. Or if there are a group of teachers, we would be able to train you for 1 hour, 1.5 hours for the entire software. So you might be from different streams of education, a K-12 teacher or professor or lecturer. This software is built for all. So this is what we have got. Thank you. Thank you for the session. Yeah.
Thank you, Venkat, for that illuminating session, and especially in today's post-pandemic world, display is one of the key components without
Right.
which the virtual education cannot continue.
Right.
So thanks a lot for your session, and I'm sure many of the universities and schools who are participating in the APAC Second Global Education and Conclave would like to take up the solutions from Viewsonic, and will be getting in touch with all of you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for the session.